Hello, Taurus, and how are you? I hope you're doing good, and if you're not, I hope that you will. Welcome to your reading. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome back if this isn't your first time. Either way, I'm so glad you're here to join me for today's video, which is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And as you can see from the title, today we're doing your tarot predictions for the month of April 2021. So welcome, I hope you're excited for this just as much as I am. Two quick things that I want to say before we get into it. First of all, this is a general reading, so make sure to only take what resonates and leave the rest. And also, I do private readings for both tarot and astrology about all sorts of things. My books are currently open, so if you want to have the chance of having a private reading with me, you can book yours today using the information that I will leave in the description box down below. So make sure to go check that out if you're interested. I would love to speak with you. So without any further ado, let's just get into it and see, that was quick, and see what's going on for Taurus for the month of, I almost said March, for the month of April 2021. So what's going on for Taurus for the month of April, please, Spirit? Okay, interesting. What else? Is there anything else to carry? Okay, we're gonna stop here. So you got a lot of cards. Where do we want to place them now? That's the question, isn't it? And you're gonna go over here. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at them. So we have here the King of Swords in reverse. Sorry about that. The King of Swords in reverse. We have Judgment. The Four of Swords in reverse. The Nine of Swords in reverse. The Five of Swords in reverse. The Four of Wands in reverse, which was the first card that came out, in case you weren't able to see that. The Nine of Cups. The Three of Wands. The Six of Pentacles. The Knight of Swords. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And finally, the Hanged Woman in reverse. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant, your card, as well as Queen of Cups reversed, Eight of Cups, and at the top of the deck we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Okay, so The way this Four of Wands in reverse came out so quickly and so ferociously is just telling me that there's definitely going to be action for you in the month of April. It's quite curious because the Four of Wands upright signifies balance and stability and creating a home, right? And so in reverse here, it would suggest instability, which isn't necessarily something that's positive, you know, and especially for you, Taurus, usually you are a sign, you know, very stable, grounded earth sign who likes and enjoys their stability. Sometimes to a fault, right? But I think that there's like instability for in some form for you in April, but you're actually, I think, quite happy about it, or at least like you're not completely unhappy about it. So maybe things have been stagnant in the recent past and you have been wanting this to change. So because, you know, Four of Wands reverse came out so quickly, and then underneath that we have the Nine of Cups, which is like one of the most beautiful cards in this spread. And you know, you see like all these colors and the hearts, and the Nine of Cups speaks of wish fulfillment, wish come true, emotional fulfillment, emotional happiness. It's one of the happiest cards in the tarot. And so yes, definitely you've been wanting some things to change, and they are changing in April. And I see you, you know, if you've been working at something, if you've been wishing for something, you know, even if it's just like in your heart or within yourself, wishing upon a star, praying for it, manifesting it, your wishes could potentially come true in the month of April. Okay, so I also see, you know, the Three of Wands is about it's about travel. It's also about having a grander vision. It's also about finally collecting what the rewards of what we've been working at, finally kind of starting to see the results of all the seeds that we've been planting and all the things that we've been planning. And the Six of Pentacles, of course, suggests abundance of all material ways. There's also a sense of balance here, of equal give and take, of very peaceful. This is not the Four of Pentacles, which is, you know, sitting with your money and your possessions and very guarded and very scared because you're scared, you're in scarcity mindset, and you're scared of not having enough. The Six of Pentacles is feeling comfortable because you know you have enough, and you are also willing to share with others and give because you give to yourself first, so you're not scared of giving to others because of this. So this is what's going on for you at the big lines for the month of April, which is very nice. There's also a sense of, with this Hierophant at the back of the deck and the way it's designed here in this deck with the eye at the top of the pyramid, there's a sense of you maybe in the past oh yeah, okay, yeah, oh look what we're talking about. Okay, hold on. I don't usually read like this, but tonight I've been called to do this, just reading the cards at the back of the deck. But what I wanted to say is there's this idea of kind of like perhaps isolating yourself or taking some distance by, you know, instead of being inside the pyramid, going outside of it and then going up and going higher to have a bigger vision of the situation, and then also being kind of like, I see everything, I understand everything, because there's a dimension of being an oracle and a seer with the Hierophant card, right? And so I do see this in the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Cups. Perhaps you had been kind of blocking off your emotions for a while. Maybe you are blocking off your feminine side, your divine feminine energy, if that means anything to you, if you use those words. Eight of Cups does speak of kind of going within, going on your own spiritual quest to find the answers that you're looking for. And look what underneath we are seeing, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, what we're talking about. So you've left this idea of scarcity mindset, of just clinging on to things that weren't serving you, clinging onto things out of fear, because you realize with the Strength in reverse here, that didn't actually make you strong. It just made you more scared, and you weren't actually in your power at all, which is why the Strength card is in reverse. With the Five of Wands up here, could have created some conflict. This could have been inner conflict, this could have been outer conflict, it could have been both, as in the inner conflict lasted for so long and was so out of control, you weren't able to kind of handle it, that it would kind of manifest outwardly after that, because you just couldn't, you didn't know better. before. And so there was a moment where we were like, okay, this is not working anymore, so we need to go within with the hermit and see what the hell is actually going on here. Like, who am I? What do I stand for? What do I truly want? What does all of these material things that I have in my life, what do they even mean, right? And so, okay, I'm gonna put these back. And so this could have been the kind of path that you have been on in the recent past. And this led you to this Hierophant moment, which is a very wise, the Hierophant is also about spirituality, it's about commitment. It's about, originally in the tarot, it was the Pope card, which, now it's lost its original religious connotation. You don't have to be religious, obviously, to relate to it. But there's this idea of, like, divine wisdom, of just being very kind of like, like an elder who has learned a lot and is very connected to themselves, and therefore, like, they can connect to source and they can give really, really great advice, and they are very a solid figure for the rest of their community. And so, of course, I said elder, but age is just a symbol. We can be very young and still embody the energy of the Hierophant, and if you are, that's really, really great, because not everyone can do that. And so you reach a deeper understanding of, I think, of everything, like of life, of yourself, of spirituality, what that means to you, of the world, and perhaps, of also values, right? I split the deck randomly and I got the 10 of Pentacles, of money, what that means to you, the material world, the economy, right? What all of that means to you, and what it means for you to be or feel rich, or to be wealthy, to be privileged, to success, what that means for you, legacy, what kind of legacy do you want to pass on after you pass away or after you retire, whatever. What does that actually look like for you, and not just like what you've been told you should be doing, right? I think this is all the kinds of answers that you were seeking and that you have actually found, and which is why you feel so much more comfortable with yourself. I also see there's just this kind of peace and grounded, which is really great. This is really evolved Taurus energy as well, so this is really nice. Because the thing is, you can, and this is a lesson that sometimes people with Taurus placements have to learn over time, is like the fine line between materialism and appreciating material things and possessions, right? And so I think if you hadn't learned that, now you definitely have. So this is why you don't mind having some kind of instability in your life right now, because you feel stable within yourself. You don't need outer stability or outer security to kind of generate or compensate for the lack of inner stability, because you have that, right? You are this really dignified, high energy, evolved energy of the Hierophant, which is really amazing for me to see. I think that if you do suffer from like anxiety, if you are someone who is very anxious, very stressed all the time, very, self-doubting, constantly questioning yourself, who you are, what you're saying, the decisions you're making, the actions you're taking, your 5-year plan or whatever, I think that this has calmed down a little bit. I think that you also realize that, like, not everyone who was at your table necessarily had your best interest in mind. And if in the past you also were partaking in some kind of what? I was gonna say like 2 words mixed up together, which was not a word. You were partaking in gossiping or pettiness, power games, things like that in like your friend group or your community and your family. I think you like are just above that now. You're more mature than that. You realize that like it's not giving you anything. Perhaps there are still some people in your circle who still do that, but I think like if there are, you probably know that, and so you're kind of like taking your distance a little bit, or you're like, no, I'm not gonna play your little game, like I'm better than that, I have better things to do, which is true, and it is what you should be doing. Yeah, because I think, with these cards on my left here, which might be on your right, I'm not sure, I think so. We have the King of Swords in reverse, Judgment, and then the Four of Swords in reverse. I think you could have been embodying up until now this King of Swords archetype, you know, no matter your gender, this is energy. And so, yes, this is someone who's very stern, who's very controlled, who's very smart, and isn't necessarily very chatty, doesn't necessarily talk all the time, but when they talk, it's very articulated, it's very calculated, it's very smart, it's very strategic, which is a very great asset to have. But when it's in reverse here, we can have the other side of that coin, which is someone who's very cold, someone who can even be manipulative if they want to, someone who is completely devoid of emotions and therefore cannot really cultivate healthy or nourishing relationships with others. And so this can be someone who's just like who confuses rudeness and honesty, right? And someone who's just playing games because they think, you know, the best thing about life is just winning those kinds of games. And so you could have been embodying this energy. The King of Swords is also, you know, it's already an energy that like doesn't necessarily share much about themselves and only kind of expresses themselves from a controlled intellectual plane. But in reverse, this is even like more exacerbated. And so you probably weren't someone who ever expressed their emotions. Maybe you weren't even like, I was going to say thinking about them, but maybe you were even kind of like numbing them out for yourself as well. You didn't understand them. You never really kind of, maybe you were just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to ignore them or something like that. And just like there was, and that was working for you for a moment. You know, especially since the mainstream culture doesn't actually really understand nor values emotions. And so I spilled the deck randomly. We got the Eight of Swords. And so, you know, we feel all bound to some sort of higher curse or whatever, but then like we're just doing this to ourselves, right? And we're not self-liberating. And then right after that, there's this one I wanted to pop out, the Eight of Wands. This is quick communication. This is passion. And so we're blocking ourselves from our passion, and underneath that, there's the Lovers reversed. Okay, so this is divine union, divine love, and then we have the Two of Swords in reverse. This is stalemate, this is choices, this is having to listen to your intuition instead of your intellect, otherwise you don't know what to do. And so, and I hope this is not a really scattered reading, but I think you were in this King of Swords energy, you know, which was serving you for a while, it worked for you for a while, you know, people weren't necessarily saying things, it was working, no one was challenging you too much on this, until there was this judgment moment. And it's possible, you know, with this Lovers cards, it is possible that it has something to do with a romantic relationship or romantic interest of yours or an ex or whatever happened. It's possible that it was connected to that, but I feel like I almost see this Judgment card as some sort of like tower moment, or there was just something, maybe I don't know, like, because it could have been a lot of things, and it's going to be different for every single one of you, but most of you will already know what I'm talking about because you've already done a lot of this path, right? Because you're already the Hierophant. But I think there's something that happened that just kind of like shook you up and woke you up, and you were forced to face the fact that you could not stay in this King of Swords in reversed energy forever, and that even staying in it right now was just not working out and was just making you really unhappy and really anxious, right? You kind of finally connected the dots that you were, you know, we did see, I mean, now I lost it, but like when I showed you the Eight of Swords, right, the card where the person is blindfolded, but I was saying like they're doing it to themselves. That's the energy of the Eight of Swords. You realize that you had a part to play in that, which can be hard to recognize our own accountability in our choices of life and the way that we affect our own lives and ourselves. But at the same time, when we realize that we have the power to do this to ourselves, it also makes us realize that it means we also have the power to liberate ourselves from this, right? And so this is what all of this is about. And I think that you did realize that because you went into healing mode with this Four of Swords, right? Four of Swords is it is healing, it's stillness, it's resting, no movement, meditating on what we want to do, who we think we are, things like this. And so maybe you've resisted it for a while, which is why it's in reverse. Maybe it's just like not a place that's very easily accessible for you. So maybe you did struggle a lot to kind of get there to when you finally decided like, okay, like fine, like I'm gonna face myself, I'm gonna face my fears and my emotions, and I'm gonna go within and try to find out who I am. And you know, instead of repressing everything like I used to, I'm gonna actually let myself ask all these existential scary questions to myself, and I'm gonna try to see if there's an answer. And if not, I'm just gonna face the fear. This is what this Four of Swords is about. Could have been really hard for you to do that. And so if you've done that, if you are doing that, even if you've considered doing that, all of that is a really big step. And so I really commend you for that. I really applaud you for that. That is very courageous of you. So, you know, I know these are things that tend to be very personal. So maybe there's no one in your life that actually knows about this. No one in your life who can actually kind of encourage you to do this. But I want you to know that I, as well as the universe, we see you. And we really commend you for this. Okay, this is really great. No matter how much progress you've made, no matter how much you feel like you still have a lot of progress to make, healing is not linear, and we're all in this together, okay? So, yeah, I think there was just this soul calling moment with this, or person with this Judgment card. So maybe it was something like a breakup, maybe it was like really harsh realization, maybe it was like meeting someone new that was just like woke something up in you and you were like, oh my god. Like they made you realize for whatever reason, maybe they were very open, I don't know, or maybe they just kind of confronted you, or maybe you just felt so much. Maybe you had numbed your emotions out so much for so long, but this person made you feel so much like you were like, oh my god, and you kind of realized that you couldn't necessarily compartmentalize your emotions, as in you can't really numb some of your emotions out and have the others. Like you cannot, you know, both love and fear are a part of life. All emotions are a part of life and they are human, otherwise we wouldn't be feeling them. And so when we numb fear out, when we numb out our ability to fear or to hurt or be in pain, we actually also numb out the ability to truly love and connect and grow and nourish our soul. And I think that this is the harsh realization that you came to. But you know, now you've done some work, now you realize who you are, you know what you want, and therefore now you're not in this Knight of Swords energy, you're not in this King of Swords energy, you are in this Knight of Swords energy. And the Knight of Swords is someone who's very quick moving, who knows what they want, quick wit, very smart, very communicative as well. And so you're more open to communication now. You also are happy to be making bigger moves, which I think is why, you know, this Four of Wands in reverse. Oh, this, even the cards want to fly away. The Nine of Cups, you're like, yeah, you have goals now that you know are yours and not just what other people told you or what society told you should have as goals. And this is why I think I think you're more passionate about them. But I do think there's still a part of you that could have some sort of inferiority complex. You could still be worried, could still be scared. You might feel with this Nine of Pentacles that you've lost some time, or that you're not there yet, or not as far as you wish you were, or you wish you were more accomplished. Maybe you feel like internally you've kind of healed, but that it doesn't really reflect like externally yet, and that you don't have as many achievements, physical achievements in the 3D world as you wish you did. And so maybe there's something about hiding, perhaps. Maybe you're kind of still hiding, not really showing yourself fully, even though you know you're better than you used to be, like you feel better than you used to. But you are welcoming in more blessings this month, right? We talked about it with the Nine of Cups. You're definitely happier than you used to be. And then this Three of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, right? We already talked about these. And I mean, again, this is another card, the Hanged Woman, which in upright, it speaks of stillness and changing your perspective. And so in reverse, this does speak of action, obviously, because it's the other way around. And also, I do want you to like remember that like healing, it's not something that just happens once and then we're done. Healing is something that goes on for the rest of our lives. You know, it takes on many different shapes and forms. It evolves just as we do. But it's not going to help you out if you think, oh, I went into this healing, this hermit mode for a while, and now I understand life. Now I understand everything, and I'm never going to do it again. No, that's not really going to work. If you think like that, you're probably going to end up once again in this King of Swords energy. And it's like, it might not be exactly this King of Swords energy if you've healed that, but it's going to manifest differently, okay? And so it's great that you've changed your perspective. It's great that now you feel ready for action, that you feel like you've kind of meditated on this long enough, but don't underestimate how much good it can bring you to still trying to change your perspective again in the future or even right now. Okay, especially on this this can be another form of scarcity mindset, right? Being scared that we're not there yet, that we're kind of late on life. And it's funny because like 5 minutes before doing this reading, I was reading something about that on Instagram, and there was affirmation that said, I am on time for my life. And so I encourage you to repeat that to yourself if you feel like that is something that you would need to hear at the moment or any time. Okay, I am on time for my life. You know, because the truth is we're kind of taught this really linear pattern. You know, we grow up, we all go to school, we go to university, then you get a job, and then you work until you die, or you work until you retire, and then you die, and whatever. And it's really like, we're all unique humans. You know, life has many twists and turns that we cannot plan. You know, the current world situation right now is a perfect example of that, right? But it's about learning to dance in the rain instead of avoiding it. And so, you know, there's no like normal, there's no standard, like this whole linear path that you've been taught about. Like, how many people do you know are actually doing this right now in a way that's like expected of them, or in the way that's like because the truth is like sometimes we feel like we're alone in this, but so many of us actually feel this way, like, oh my god, I'm late, oh my god, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. And it's like, it's fine. It's fine. No one's like over like watching you and what you're doing and judging all of it. Only you are. But you're doing just fine. It's never too late to start something new, okay? Even you could be 70 years old and you want to change, you want to start a new hobby, you want to start a new career, you want to do a degree, you could still do it. You know, it would present its own challenges, but you know what I mean. It really is never too late. There's also a sense, I don't know how old or young you are, but there's also a sense that, you know, in our society we kind of over glorify youthfulness, and so there's this idea that like your best years are like XYZ years, like, you know, your life kind of stops at 25, at 30, 40, whatever it is, or that like if you're older, like your life's not fun anymore, it's too late to start over, and all those things are just lies. They're lies, okay? They're complete lies. It's not true. You can do it. You just have to believe in yourself and just go for it little by little. Take the first step and see where that leads you. All right? Okay, so to finish off the reading, let's get you some self-care. So what's some self-care for Taurus for the month of April, please? Also, if you are a Taurus sun and you are an early Taurus sun, like within the first 10 degrees, then happy birthday. Your birthday will be at the end of April. I almost forgot to say it. Anything else? I know there's something else you want to give me, please. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else? 1, 2, 3. So, okay. Should we take this? Yeah? Okay. So I'm not going to do a lot of interpretation for these. They are quite straightforward and I like them that way. These are kind of concrete actions that you can take or that you can do in order to take care of yourself better, love yourself better, and stay in your soul's path, you know, aligned with your soul's path during the month of April, okay? And some of these can be done in multiple different ways, but I want that interpretation and that freedom to be up to you. And if you need any ideas, sometimes some of these are more spiritual, you can always look that up, okay? But let's see, we have number 53, use your hands. We have number 5, beauty ritual. We have number 36, movement. And this is the first card that came out really quickly, right? So universe is kind of insisting on that one. We have number 50, sweet treat. Number 52, take a walk. Even if it's just like in your neighborhood streets. So something simple is better than nothing. And we have number 44, sex. No, I mean, if you don't have any ideas about that one, you don't have to Google that. I mean, you can, but, you know, anyway. It's funny because I was planning, I thought that I would have 4 cards coming out for this, and then, like, the sex card really wanted to come out, so I was like, okay, sure. But anyway, Taurus, that was the reading that I got for you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonated and that it was insightful and helpful. If you did like it, please let me know by liking this video. It really helps me out, and I always appreciate your support and helps me make more videos like these. Comment down below to let me know if this resonated for you, and if so, how. I would love to hear it and talk about this with you if you wish so. Share this video if you think it will be helpful to anyone you know. Subscribe to my channel for more. I would love to have you here. I post these tarot predictions for all the zodiac signs every single month, as well as a new pick-a pal every single week on all sorts of subjects. And by the way, if you have any suggestions or requests for pick-a-pal's subjects or themes for the future, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I'm gonna as well do them in the near future. I would love to hear what you would like to see here. If this didn't resonate, that's okay, it happens. I always make these for all 3 sun, moon, and risings, so I encourage you to perhaps watch one or both of your other signs. They will all be up on my channel. If you don't know what those signs are for you, you can quickly Google some calculators online, and using your date of birth and your time of birth, you will be able to find out, okay? But either way, I will wish you an amazing rest of your day or night, as well as an amazing month of April. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I had a great time, so I hope you did as well. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.